Hey everyone, of course, welcome to the next edition of Forum Bites. In this episode, not only have we passed 555 subscribers, but also in this episode, it's a one-on-one with Bronwyn Taylor. Now, Bronwyn is actually the global lead for the SLP Champions. And just for people who don't know what SLP stands for, it stands for Spousal Life Partner. And in this episode, we talk about the origins of the SLP and the benefits of the SLP for not only the member, the chapter, but also for the EO Globe. So it's my absolute privilege to introduce Bronwyn Taylor. So, of course, for the people who haven't met Bronwyn here, she is literally the embodiment of the SLP program for me. Seriously, she is definitely the embodiment. Now, just to give you a little bit of history, the SLP program, you've been involved for how many years with the SLP program here in Australia and New Zealand? How long?
So 3 years as the regional SLP champion. But previously, my husband's been a member for 20 years. So I was actually in SLP Forum in Sydney about 18 years ago for a period of time. Different beast. As forum training's changed, so has SLP forum training, because it's the same. But yeah, this time, the last 3 years.
3 years.
Yep.
To be honest, it feels longer.
No, really?
It really does feel longer.
Feels like it for me.
Because, and now tell me though, the reason why I say that is because the actual SLP program, the adoption of the program, the understanding of the program has gone from such a low base to such a high base now in such a short period of time. That's why I'm saying it feels a lot longer.
Yeah.
But thinking back, I remember the first time you and I met and we were talking about the SLP program, funny enough, together, and running that. So if you had your time again and you had a brand new member in front of you with their partner and they were asking about the value of SLP and should I do it, what would you tell them?
Wow. I think I would say, in my experience, for me, the kind of starting as a new member, my partner as a new member, my experience for the first 5 years was almost a negative one. I wasn't involved at all. There was a lot of, we had young kids, there was a lot of time spent in retreat, there was a lot of kind of time spent and money.
That must have been hard.
It was hard.
Watching your partner go off.
Yeah, but have extraordinary experiences, meeting incredibly interesting people, staying at home with young kids and lots of bodily fluids. But I think the difference now is we have the opportunity to make that experience as an SLP a really positive one from the word go. I know that with my forum, when they were trained, it became this kind of ease with EO and a really positive, I know people. I can go to an event in chapter and I'll know someone else in the room. I'm not going to be Velcroed to my husband's partner, husband, wife side. And it's a positive when this is great, I can get extra value by being involved myself. We can get extra value from that membership.
And I suppose from a member's perspective, it removes the isolation that an EO membership may cause to the life
training
partner.
Especially.
Correct.
Training especially. So you immediately get the how and the why of forum.
So in other words, you're now talking about gestalt and confidentiality, aren't you?
Exactly.
Okay.
So straight away I get why you can't tell me the content. And especially if they're in forum, because then it's a two-way street. But without just being trained, you get the reason why it's important that Gestalt's used. You get the reason why they need to go away to retreat and why that's a really positive thing. And also, if I knew what I know now when we started 20 years ago, I would know that my husband's parenting skills changed, our relationships changed. I think I was talking to you about how often Gestalt comes into our personal discussions and how I'm often gestalted in an argument. It's very
backed into a corner.
I know So it's very hard to argue against someone who's giving their personal experience. But also how it changed the way we parent our kids, and the difference it made to them to see a different perspective, and for us to be involved in an organisation with an incredible growth mindset. It's impacted our kids, the way they think about challenges as being opportunities for growth.
So it doubles the benefits. Is really what
incredible.
you're telling me.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that.
Almost,
correct. Because it also to the kids as well.
The kids as well, if you've got them.
It removes the unknown, I suppose, which has got to do with confidentiality, where your partner comes home from a meeting and says, "How was the meeting?" Good. What did you talk about? I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's probably within a marriage or a partnership the first time those words have usually ever been said.
Exactly. And that's a real sticking point.
Correct. Because funny enough, the amount of times I talk to some new members about their partners not understanding, then I talk about the SLP now, to get involved. It makes not only the journey for the couple easier, but also the member and the overall chapter. Because weren't you talking before that when a member joins and the SLP is trained and is interactive with forum, whether in forum or not, it's totally a personal choice.
Yeah.
But when they're interacted, it makes the turnover a lot less, because now you've really got two getting value, not just one.
Well, extraordinary.
Yeah.
I mean, in most cases, EO is, in a way it sounds weird, but I think entrepreneurialism is kind of a little bit contagious. You usually find most partners, SLPs, either have their own business, they're either working in the partner's business, or they're in corporate. But in this day and age, most partnerships, they're two working people. And so you're kind of getting this kind of incredible flow on to not only personal life, but also your business. I mean, as a business person, you're getting that kind of flow on as well.
To be able to flow onto the ethics, which is something I have to admit I didn't think about until I met you 3 years ago. About not only the benefit to the member and the spouse, that's something which I get, but it's also the benefit to the wider chapter, but also the global perspective. Yeah. Because then you get a deeper interaction within the family. You were talking before about how there's programs for kids and families, and then there's spouses and members, and it just becomes a richer environment.
Well, and also in the chapter. So now when we go to a chapter event and there's much more SLP engagement, you've got this, you're doubling the depth of experience within that room, because you're getting people who are on the entrepreneurial roller coaster themselves, but also you're getting the perspective of being a partner of that. So I think I was talking about before, I used to nag in the first couple of years, why do we have to cancel our holidays? Why are you working so late? Blah, blah, blah. If you're in a forum, or even if you're talking to another SLP in an event, even if you've got engagement at that level, and you can say, oh my God, he does that as well. Are you kidding? I'm not the only one. Then you've got, a friend, or, who's going through the same thing. And then it's not, the conversation in my house became a lot less nagging from me, because it was like, oh, we're not abnormal. Like, everybody's doing the same thing. We're all kind of getting aborted holiday plans.
That's probably
okay.
the biggest lesson I've learned out of EO, is that I'm not the only one who's like this.
Yeah.
Which is something which is great. And the main thing
and your wife is not the only one married to someone like
that is also true. Dealing with me, I don't know how she stays with me, to be honest. But the main thing that I can see out of this, and anyone who's having a look at the SLP program, seeing whether it's worthwhile to them as a member, or even as a chapter, or as a forum, as training, and those, I can see that it can't be forced. You must go to training, or you must go into a forum. But going to the training and understanding the process, I suppose, cements home the lesson, of course, that my father taught me all the time, that you don't achieve anything alone.
No.
It even takes two people to bring you into this world, let alone anything else.
Yeah, well, that's very true.
Okay, so correct. So obviously with the entrepreneur's journey, they never do it alone. Of course, naturally, if they have a life partner, they definitely don't do it alone. Which I think is a good way to do it.
I mean, the other thing that's really interesting is doing the training kind of sparks an interest in EO itself. So for me, that then can translate with our, now SLPs have limited access on the network. That then interest, you start looking around going, okay, so I can be trained. There's the option of forum. And whether it's you're ready for it or not ready for it, or you busy other life, whatever, but it also gives you an interest in, okay, so what else is out there globally? Well, there's universities. That's so cool. I'd love to go to, for instance, we've got our eye on Kenya at the moment.
Yes.
So, like, we could do that together, and then either we can bring the kids over and have a family holiday. And let's face it, the entrepreneur is quite busy with the company. The partner's usually the social director, and I mean, I've got the spend, so I'm called the kind of Minister for Defence and Internal Affairs.
Yes.
And so my spend is, do we go on a holiday, the two of us, the family, to somewhere, or do we go and learn and grow and then go on a holiday in this amazing place with other people who that's their home turf?
Yeah.
And so you get all that added experience of having friends in an unknown country.
And that is the definition of not only making your EO journey with your husband richer, it makes the chapters richer, it makes your universities richer, which obviously then makes the global community a rich community. So,
exactly.
Which I think is a good point.
Yeah.
Now, as always, if anyone's got any questions whatsoever, either Bronwyn or myself, please leave it in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed already, you'll know what to do. I'll put the bald head right there. Just hit the bald head now. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.